Okay, from now we'll be discussing the types of fertilizer. When you talk of types of fertilizer, I said there are two. There's the organic and there's the inorganic fertilizer. Now, the organic fertilizer are those fertilizer that you get naturally from chicken waste, from chicken poops, from livestock, from human composted waste. Those are organic fertilizer. While the inorganic are those ones that are gotten from synthetic. See, they are produced in the lab, the chemicals, everything, and they are produced in the lab. Now, honestly, each has got its own advantage and disadvantages, and yes, each has got its own advantages and disadvantages, and we'll be discussing them. Like I said, most times you see, I preach organic, and I'll tell you why. In 2014, I attended a course organized by Colecp, and at the course, they did not ask us to do organic, and they did not ask us not to use fertilizer, but they put us in a way, they put us through a system. They taught us to fear synthetic. They taught us to keep away so much to protect ourselves from synthetic. Protection in the form of, okay, even you that you're applying it, you are at risk. If you notice, most organizations like Monsanto, all these organizations, farmers in the United States and other countries, they always sue them for their health challenges because they are see, as you all this sprayer and you're spraying the fertilizers and the chemicals, it's affecting you yourself if you are not protecting yourself. So I remember at the training, we were even told how to wear your gloves. The first thing you need to do, you wear the gloves. There's a way. It was a very careful, very extremely careful. It was a 2 weeks training, and it's just all about keeping away. It's not that they didn't say don't use it. Now the second part is that the quantity you use must be limited, as in very, very limited. Because, okay, let me give you an instance. If you're producing things for Nigeria, you don't have problem. If you're producing things from Nigeria, I'm sorry to use that word, or for your specific country, depending on the countries where you are in your country you're producing, you might not have issues, because it's like African countries, we don't really bother about the certifications. We don't really bother about the poisonous aspect of all those facts. But if you are producing for export, you want to send it outside the country, or you understand what I mean, you need to be extremely careful. So it was at that training I got that mindset to start doing organic for myself. But when I'm having some classes of training like this, I'll tell you both the benefit. It's a choice. Like I said, I don't say do organic, no, but it's a choice. By the time you understand what it means, see, I look at it. If I'm producing something and I'm scared of eating it, as in it's scary, I cannot eat what I'm producing, then what's the sense of producing it? Like, okay, you're producing corn, you've used enough of chemicals on your corn, and at the end of the day, you personally, you know yourself, it's not healthy for you, because you know if you eat it, it's building up some cancerous something in your bone or in your skin, and in the next following years, maybe like Nigeria will say, God forbid, you might be looking for crowdfunding, whatever, for health challenges for you and all this stuff. So I used to tell producers that's one. 2, if those synthetic chemicals, they touch your skin or your body or whatever, it has effect. And I know there's a lot of people that will be suing Monsanto, the organization that are producing it. But personally for me, why should I use a product I already know is poisonous for me? Now, 3, in most of the other countries outside here, you find out, I remember I saw a pesticide, a synthetic pesticide. It's written on the container, it's produced for Nigeria by they mentioned the China company. That is, they are not specifically produced for your country. Maybe the people that are importing it demanded for that specific crop, demanded for that specific pesticide. So it cannot be sold or distributed. It cannot be distributed in their own country. It happens like that, but it's going to some African countries because it's specifically produced for us. So you find out that during exporting or all those process, you find out that all those kind of foodstuff, you cannot export them. I remember I had something, I learned if you are exporting, okay, most times we don't export from Nigeria because most of our produce do not meet standard, 1. Then 2, if you are exporting, you pass through all the checks in Nigeria, you go through, okay, let me give you an incident. in same 2014, Kolesi P sent me for that training. I was a trainer then, and they sent somebody down from Kenya, who is my senior, to come and assess a company in Nigeria that want to get certificates. Now, when we went to the company farm, see, this is how it works. They want to see where you are producing. It's farm to table. Farm to table means they will inspect before you can get certified to get your produce on the stores, on the tables, on the stores and everything. It has to be from farm to the table. So they came to check, okay, we want to walk back to your farm. The company were trying to check then, I won't mention their name, they are already exporting. But their own exporting is like there's an African store. You know, people that are outside the country understand what I'm saying. There are African stores where it's normal. The normal food stuff we eat in Nigeria can pass through there, as in without much ado certification, as long as it is the aesthetic. You can look at it, it's looking beautiful, it's looking fine. They don't check much of the chemicals because that's what we are used to eating around there. So it goes to those stores, and they call it African stores. So in African stores, all those things. So those company I'm telling you about, they are already exporting. They export gari, they export ugu, they export some other leafy vegetables like that through African stores. Actually, if you go to Lagos State, NACO, every Monday, Tuesday, ugu, moimoi leaf vegetables and some other fresh vegetables, they move to Europe every Monday and Tuesday from Nigeria here. Yes, though it's not in plenty quantity, because you have to know somebody up there, right there, that will collect it from you, or that is collecting it from you, because it cannot go through stores, through the normal stores, food stores. So it's African. It's sold within African stores. Recently, somebody too was discussing with you that he used to export yam and all this stuff. He sells them through African stores too. That works. Now, but if you are, so this company are now looking at, okay, if we are selling if we sell on African stores, there's a price for it. If your things are well certified and you get it to a normal store, as in the normal is it BRC or whatever? I can't remember the name of the stores outside the country. You want to get your produce into all those big stores, all those stores, you command more price, you command more money and everything. But it means more quality inspection is expected from more quality. You are supposed to meet some quality standards. More standard is expected from you. So they call Kolesi P to come and do that for them. So I was asked to go there to join the trainer so that I will learn, because I was on training then. So when we go today we went to the farm, and yes, on the farm they were not using organic, and they were just normal planting. Actually, they were not the owner of the farm. They were buying from some farmers. There's farmers there, and they were using, is that Ejigbo here in Lagos. They're using this water. I don't know the name. They call it. So it's not Okawe. There's a name they call it that you won't even want to hear the name. It's not something that should be. It's a wastewater that is coming from somewhere. Honestly, I don't know where the water is coming from, but I can't remember the name right now. So they call it forgotten. So that is where it's at that edge that those women, every one of them, are planting ugu and all this stuff. So they have somebody, I think it's a customer that produces for them. But so from there, when we left that place, my trainer told us they couldn't even meet 20% of the expectation of what they need to put together for them to meet the standard that will go for export. So, and that's the exact report we are going to put them, because I wrote report. I will even check. I think it's in my mail. I wrote my report. So it's something I should go over now. We're talking of 2014, and this is 2022. So then it's like we just wrote, because the lady that came just gave us. It was the one that guided us to. But now that I've known better, it's something I should go over. Yeah, it's something I should go over so that I can really learn more from it. Yeah, it's a good idea now. So because we wrote our own report too, we were two trainees then, me and Sheil, and so we wrote our report too. Now, as we're saying, so it means their farm produce, no matter, they cannot get to the stores, cannot increase the price, they cannot, what they want to do, they could not meet up. Now, the other thing about it is that, okay, if you now, some people export when they get to the where they're checking it, you know, those chemistry we avoided when we were in secondary school, litmus paper testing and turning red to yellow and whatever. So those are the way they test all those things. So if they test it, if you move those things abroad, it's not for African store, and you move it abroad and they test it, I learned you have to pay for them to destroy them or you get them back. That's about export anyway. Let's not go into export since we are not discussing export right there. So now organic fertilizer. Inorganic fertilizer, which is synthetic, they consist of mineral-based nutrients and they manufactured for immediate application on crops. Now, one greatest advantage of organic fertilizer like this is that you see, the moment you add it to the soil, you know, you don't add it to the crop. You can't. If you add this to your crop is dead already, so you cannot apply and you cannot add it. So you open just like some meters away from your soil, you put it in there, and some meters away from your soil, you put it in there and you cover it up. Most farmers don't know that you need to cover it up. It's gaseous something, so you cover it up. By the time you cover it up, you make sure you put water. One, if you don't add water, it's not you are losing that, you are just wasting the fertilizer, and then you cover it up. Then that is when the water is what will sink the effect into the soil within that area, so that the plant can now make use of it. But if you don't add the water or whatever, you are not going to get a good result. Okay, so that's synthetic. Like I told you, it's a fast action. It's fast action, but as you're adding it, it's destroying the organics, it's destroying the earthworms, the grubs. There's something we call grubs, there's something we call earthworms. It's destroying them in the soil for you. So if you don't have them, if you destroy them, and by the time you come the next time, like we said, you need to add something else to your soil again. Now the organic is, you can see the difference. You see this soil here, you can see the earthworms. These are the living things that you find in organic. These are the things that burrow the soil. These are the things that make the soil works for you. You can see them. So an organic fertilizer is fertilizer derived from organic sources. Your things that are formerly living before but are now dead, they are organic sources. So these are the things you get from there. Like what we do, if you want to build this thing now, you need to go and look for where there are these things like this. Put them in a container or put them somewhere and keep adding water to them and livestock waste, then they will keep breeding for you. There are people that sell them, they breed them. They are very good right now, and it's one of the raving thing in agriculture now. So a lot of people are building them to build the soil, to create a good soil, and your soil. See, once you had them this year, you had them just once in a year, and until next year again, you can plant 3 times on that soil, and you'll be getting a good yield. Unlike fertilizer, that if you had it, it's destroying the soil for you. And so, like I said, is a choice. It's some choice. Now, the advantage of synthetic fertilizer, like I said, they are easy to transport, store, and apply. You see, they are easily to buy. You can easily buy them off store shelves and everything. You can, they are readily available because they are produced in large quantity. Though right now in Nigeria they are very expensive. Not many farmers use fertilizers again. Not even synthetic, not organic. They are very expensive now. So, now disadvantage of it, they are expensive. The ingredients in the fertilizer are toxic to the skin and respiratory system. You are using it, you are getting affected by it, like I told you. And most times farmers are not protective, they are not wearing anything, they are not covering themselves. Then excessive use of fertilizer damages the plants and reduces soil fertility. So while using it, it damages the plant and reduces soil fertility. Leaching occurs and the fertilizer reaches the river, causing eutrophication. It destroyed the water, even the water we are drinking. It destroyed a lot of things. It's part of the major causes of climate change effects. Yeah. Long-time use reduces the microbial activities and dissolve the pH of the soil. You can see. So something you are trying to build is getting destroyed again. That is something you are trying to build is getting destroyed again. So that's the advantage. So they are, like I said, they are quite very, very expensive. So it's like I said, it's like, and see, for this synthetic, it's good for people that say, okay, I want to stay in this place. Maybe it's not my land, and next year I'm not farming there again. I will go to another place, or you have plans, you want to be changing places. But if you want to maintain where you are, and land is getting scarce almost every day now. Land is not as plenty as it used to be. So if you are maintaining where you are or where you are doing, so it means you have to build your soil. If you build your soil, you need to run around. Is a very good thing to have a great soil. Then you can do crop rotations. We'll talk about crop rotations. You can do crop rotations. You can change your crop from one area to the other, and you have a lot of things. Okay, so we'll be going into organic, discussing the organic right now.